What's up, fellow Autism? I played a game and I want to talk about it. Today I'm taking a look at 1997's MDK. Apparently it's a cult classic, but is it worthy of that title? But before we get into that though, it's time for a little history lesson. MDK was developed by a little known developer named Shiny Entertainment. Before that, they were well known for making Earthworm Jim. Writer, co-designer, and co-artist Nick Brody wanted to move away from the types of games he had previously made, and those were of the family-friendly kind. According to him, his heart was in fantasy and science fiction, so that's what he wanted to do next. One day, he ended up drawing a little doodle of a man in a rubber suit holding a machine gun with a helmet that can double as a sniper rifle. And once he got the concept in place, he wrote a rough draft of the story and brought on a small group of people who worked with him before. One of the first things the team decided on was to develop it exclusively for the PC in mind, making the game Shiny's first PC game. The team was used to developing for the Sega Genesis, so developing for the PC would bring a good challenge. Some of the main reasons for developing the game for the PC was 1, they were tired of having to censor their games for Sega and Nintendo's consoles. They intended the game to be really gory, and allegedly the team ordered snuff films for research purposes. And 2, they wanted to take advantage of that newfangled 3D graphics thing. They really wanted to push the boundaries of PC gaming. They wanted the game to be a shooter, and the market was dominated by first-person shooters like Doom and Quake, but the developers never intended it to be an FPS. The team wanted the player to see all the cool stuff the main character would do, so they landed on making the game a third-person shooter. MDK attempted stuff never before seen in a PC game, so to make things easier, the team made their own programming language. They wanted the game to run at a constant 30 frames a second on all machines, so they tried to optimize the game as hard as they could. What didn't help was that GPUs were barely any help to the game's development at the time, so the game was made to operate in software. That meant the game was CPU bound and not GPU bound. Even with all of that, it was one of the first PC games to require a Pentium. Regardless of all this, the game was eventually finished and released in March of 1997 to positive reviews. So, what do I think of MDK? Well, sit back and relax. Here's my review. In MDK, you play as a janitor turned superhero, Kurt Hectic. His boss, Dr. WhiteKhakis, left the Earth on his spaceship, the Jim Dandy, because apparently his scientist buddies thought he was crazy after discovering a weird phenomenon. With that face, I don't blame him. After finding out that the phenomenon doesn't actually exist, he decides to stay aboard the Jim Dandy to try and discover something big. A year passes and nothing happens, so Fluke ends up building a robot dog named Bones, but Bones and Kurt prefer the name Max. Another year passes and Fluke notices streams of energy moving through the solar system towards Earth, eventually turning into gigantic mine crawlers manned by the alien Steam Riders that take away the Earth's natural resources. So basically, it's another alien invasion. Fluke ends up inventing the coil suit and forces Kurt to wear it because 1, Fluke's a kinky bitch, and 2, Kurt's the only one who can actually wear the damn thing, thus turning him into a hero whether he likes it or not. The gameplay in MDK is wild, I'll tell you what. You start out each level by jumping out of the Jim Dandy, hurling yourself into the Earth's atmosphere, and picking up power-ups, all while trying to avoid alien fire. After that, you go through each mine crawler kicking some ass. You are a killing machine, shooting down anyone on sight. It's madness. There are times where there's so many enemies, you get a little sensory overload, if you will. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Weapons-wise, you have a machine gun which has unlimited ammo, which is nice. A cool thing about this game is that Kurt's helmet doubles as a sniper rifle. You can zoom up to 100 times and take out enemies from afar, or use your other bullets to blow stuff up from afar. It's very impressive for 1997. Along the way, you can pick up some power-ups that will help you out. There's a super chain gun, which increases your rate of fire, but it runs out really quickly. There's a dummy decoy, because the aliens are really stupid and think a blow-up doll is a human. There's grenades, a fire NATO, a giant hammer, an airstrike from Max, I never used that one, and the world's smallest nuclear explosion. You have a parachute too, useful for gliding across platforms, surviving long falls, or flying over updrafts. Some levels let you use an aircraft to bomb unsuspecting enemies from above, all while listening to their blood-curdling screams. I do like how they try to switch it up sometimes. In one level, you slide down a huge slide for some sections, and in another level, you ride on a snowboard, all while you listen to some James Bond-esque music. Speaking of the music, this soundtrack is excellent. It was composed by Tommy Tallarico, at least that's what he claims. It gets you hyped during your playthrough, and it gives a somewhat science fiction TV show vibe. I love it. At the end of most levels, there's a boss, and I think some of them are pretty unique. I thought some of them were confusing at first, but I eventually got the hang of them. Some of these are hard. In fact, the game is actually quite tough, and I'm playing on normal difficulty. In some stages, the enemies will just pummel you to death. They can take out your health in a snap. Thankfully, there's health pickups, but they're limited. And speaking of health pickups, I do wish that the candies that are worth 1 health point were added onto your health if you have 100 HP or more. Kinda like the blue flasks in Doom. Anyways, if the enemies kick your ass and you die, you have to start the level from the beginning. There are no checkpoints. This really frustrated me for a while. Yeah, it was the 90s, but still, there should have been checkpoints after each tunnel or something. Thankfully, on some levels, there's a speedrun strat, so you don't necessarily have to mow down all the enemies in certain areas. Be careful though, because while doing the speedrun strat on level 4, this happened to me.
A year ago? They had like a CD, DVD print. What the Oh my fucking god, I can't believe I just saw that. How did that happen?
No way! Don't say I didn't warn you. What also frustrated me were the controls. Now, I will admit I am spoiled by the WASD keys and the mouse. Probably because of this, I think the controls are a little clunky. The up and down arrow keys move you, the left and right keys rotate you, comma and period lets you strafe left and right, you press control to shoot, alt to jump, space to enter sniper mode, and the enter key to use items. It's weird. It's very, very weird, and I'm not a fan of them. You have to move your hands in an awkward position if you want to strafe and shoot, so because of this, I never strafe. My muscle memory makes me think, oh, space to jump, but no, I enter sniper mode instead. It's a little annoying. I know you can change your controls, and apparently I just found out that you can use the mouse to turn and shoot. Wish I knew that sooner, but I didn't bother changing them because, I don't fucking know. Anyways, at the end of each level, you're in this space tunnel thing, and you try to pick up the I Feel Top pickup, giving you 150 HP before Max picks you up. What the hell does that even mean anyways? I feel top. Like, what does that mean? One other thing, the game is pretty short. There's 6 levels, but they all last maybe 25 to 30 minutes each on a good day. They're huge levels for sure, but the game might feel a little short for you, so just keep that in mind. The graphics are really good for a game from 1997, and it's surprising that all of this is running in software mode. But despite how good it is, I do have one question. Why the hell is this game letterboxed? What was wrong with it being in plain old 4.3? I know there's widescreen patches, but I can't be bothered to install them. And I do wish that Kurt's in-game model was 3D, but I do understand that they made him a pre-rendered sprite due to performance reasons. Thankfully, because of this and some other optimizations, the game runs at a steady 30 frames a second. Maybe one day we can get a 60 FPS patch that doesn't break the game. Also, in some levels, there's this really trippy effect on the floor. It's a cool effect, but sometimes it gives me a bit of a headache. The levels are great too. They're full of weird things, and I like weird. There's a blend of large fields, tunnels, and platforms. Yeah, this game is also kind of a platformer. They're full of life, and they have that signature shiny entertainment humor to them. It's great. Eventually, you fight the head of the Steam Riders, Gunter Glued, in the last level. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but I will show off the ending FMV. It has nothing to do with the story, but I thought it was interesting. It has a mix of animation and live action, which is cool. It's a bizarre ending featuring some girl singing in French and a live action Kurt. I think the guy who played Kurt really showed a lot of emotion even without saying any lines. Now that's a great ending. So what did I think of MDK? Well, it's fun, it's fast-paced, it looks pretty, and it has a great sense of humor. The only downsides I can think of are the difficulty, the lack of checkpoints, how short the game is, and the controls, at least the controls I used. Other than that, I had a blast. This game is a must-play for sure, and I highly recommend you pick this up. MDK gets 4 small nukes out of 5.
Oh no!
Before I go, let's take a look at the PlayStation version. It's pretty much the same game, so there's not much to write home about, but it still has that MDK charm to it. There's an opening FMV not present in the PC version for some reason. The controls are still a little clunky, and it's a little harder for me, but other than that, it's a solid port. The only other notable thing about this port was that it was made by Neversoft, the same people who made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Other than that, there's not much else to say. MDK was a success, and with success comes a sequel. If you want me to take a look at the sequel, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and if you did, give this video a like, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. If you're looking for more ENunnGaming, check out my review of Skate Jam, Tony Hawk's old mobile game. Have a good one, y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye!